purpose of today's video is just to do a little review on the DuraVelvet Top Coat cover, I guess if you want to call it clear coat. I got a request to use the DuraVelvet Top Coat on these Benchmade 940 scales. The way Duracoat describes DuraVelvet is that it's going to provide a rubbery, velvety feel and finish to the final product. And it operates a little bit differently than some of your other clear coats that Duracoat sells. So this is the end result. I got snow gray on the scales and then topped it with the DuraVelvet. It's definitely a different feel. You can see this spacer here. I mean, it's definitely hard to tell. I'm gonna have to explain it as best I can. This spacer does not have the DuraVelvet on it. It's just simply flat dark earth. If you can tell the difference in the colors, just a little bit offset. But this does not have the DuraVelvet, so it's got more of the metally feel to it, just you know, like any other finish would. This almost has kind of a real soft, plasticky, like almost, it's similar to a velvety feel. Is it significant? No. Does it feel like I'm holding something spongy and soft? No. I mean, you're spraying on metal, so I'm not sure how you could really achieve that effect. However, it definitely does offer and it's glossy as well. It's kind of slick, not slick, but it's real smooth, I guess, kind of like a glossy finish. This is the smallest amount you can buy. This is the 2-ounce bottle. This stuff is not cheap. The small 2-ounce bottle, I believe, ran me, I think it lists for like 17 or so. I get the discount on Lauer's website, so I think I paid maybe 15, but their shipping's also significant. And it comes with its own hardener. I almost messed this up. And actually, I'm going to explain something else about this. I almost messed this up. I almost used the regular hardener. I have no idea whether this is different or not. I'm taking it for Lauer's word because it says DuraVelvet hardener right there. Normal Duracoat mixes at a ratio of 12 parts paint to 1 part hardener. This mixes at 3 to 1. So as you can see, you actually get a lot of hardener with a small bottle of the top coat, which I was kind of wondering at first until I read the instructions. Here's the other thing about this project. I actually had to do these scales twice because I've worked a lot with Duracoat and the stuff dries fast. I can spray Duracoat. I usually hit my stuff with a heat gun just real fast just to set it in and dry it up so I can throw another layer on a little more quickly. And you know, you can pretty much touch this stuff 30 seconds to a minute after you spray it. You're not going to mess up the finish. It's already dry. It pretty much dries on contact. Very forgiving. However, that being said, sprayed my snow gray, no problem. Sprayed the top coat, hit it with a heat gun a little bit, let them hang for a few, and all I was doing was moving them from one spot to another on a drying rack to sit for the night under a heat lamp. And I had a glove on my hand and just touched the edge of one of these scales to keep it from falling off the hook. And I actually left basically a fingerprint on the edge of the scale. It was still that sticky and tacky. So if you're gonna use the DuraVelvet, make sure, one, you really let it dry. I mean, you gotta let it sit at least overnight. These things stayed tacky and sticky and were picking up stuff for a long time, because after I messed it up once, I figured let me just mess it up some more. And I mean, anything you touched, it was picking up. Also, depending on where you're working, what your shop scenario is, don't have a bunch of sawdust flying around in the air. I wouldn't have fans blowing on these, because anything in the air that the fan blows into this top coat is going to stick to it. It actually worked out because one of the same scale that I touched ended up having a fiber that got caught in the top coat that I couldn't pick out. So it needed to be redone anyway. So no big deal, no harm, no foul. At least it wasn't an entire gun or something, just some scales. Also, so I let these sit for 24 hours before I got back to redoing them just because I ran out of time. I put them in my cabinet, my blast cabinet, and went to strip off the original finish. No big deal. I've done that, you know, 100 times. This stuff was a bitch to get off. I have no idea whether it was just because of the, I believe this is aluminum scale with the Duracoat and the top coat, whether it's just the DuraVelvet itself that's tough, but I had my compressor set to about 90 to 93 psi, shooting aluminum oxide directly at it, as I do almost every other project. And it took me a significant amount of time to get just 24 hours worth of hardness off of these. Usually Duracoat takes 2 to 3 weeks to really harden up, but I mean, within 24 hours it was hard. Again, with that being said, DuraVelvet comes with specific instructions. Don't throw away the instructions if you're used to getting Duracoat and you've never ordered this before. It actually has a completely different set of instructions, which is how I saw to mix it 3 to 1. It also is very explicit, stating do not use the item for at least 3 weeks. It says, I think it might say 2 to 3 weeks. It says don't holster it if it's a gun, don't use it, don't moving parts, don't knock them together. So apparently it takes a little bit for that DuraVelvet to actually cure in. So if you have any questions, again, comments below, email. Starting to update my website a little bit. Facebook page is always there giving updates. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for sticking around. Keep subscribing. Keep hitting like if this was at all helpful to you. Leave a comment below. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.